In this tutorial, I am going to walk you through using Basecamp. So Basecamp is a project management web software, and it helps you just stay a little bit more organized. So I will invite you to Basecamp through your FIU email, and you will receive an invite to join a team or a project. So everyone will see this page, and then you'll so I'll see all the projects, but you'll see whatever project you're invited. So for example, there's a group of people working on a 3D printing project, so they'll see 3D printing. But another group of people is working on behavioral interventions. So the behavioral interventions group won't see 3D printing, they'll see a different project that says behavioral interventions. So for this tutorial, I set up a Basecamp project for our class OTH 6972. So you click into your project and you can see the different features that it has. So one of the features that I really like is the to-do list. So these are all the different things that I had to do to get this class started. So you could see so for example, before class started, I needed to revise the syllabus from last year, and I wanted that done before the end of class, and I was the person responsible. So you could keep track of your to-dos, and so these are the things that I'm currently working on, and so I actually finished the rules module, so I checked that off my to-do list, and you can see I went from 8 out of 11 items completed to 9 out of 11 items completed. So if I think of something to do, so maybe I want to plan the end of the semester potluck. You can assign it to a person. So you just start typing their name in and their name should pop up. And then we could select when it's due. So if we're planning an end of the semester potluck, it would probably be on our last week of class, which means I should plan it the week before. And then we can add that to our to-do list. So then when we get closer, I could go to the to-dos, and then Basecamp will also, you can set it up on your cell phone. If you have a smartphone, there's an app, or I often have it running in the background of my computer, and it'll give you a little pop-up and remind you to do this activity. So it's a nice place to track to-do lists to see what you've accomplished, especially if there are multiple people involved. And then I could also send a notification. So say you did something at the end of the week, it can send out an email saying like these are all the things that different people did to keep like a status report update for you and your group. So that's the to-do section. There's also like a campfire. So this is kind of like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or something like that. So say like if you have a research participant and they're running late, or you're looking, say you had a research participant scheduled for tomorrow and you're feeling sick and you need someone to take it over, you could message like, hey, is someone available to see a research participant tomorrow? And then send it, and then it would give a notification to all the other people in your group as well. So that's the campfire. There's also a message board. So if there's just something you want people to know, kind of like an email. So the message board is more like email. The campfire is more like instant messenger. There's also a schedule. So for groups that are engaging with technology, the schedule will be really helpful to make sure that the tools aren't double booked at the same time. So for example, we only have one 3D printer. So the schedule can be a good place for you to book time on the 3D printer to make sure that we don't have two people using it at once. And we can go over that with the groups that are using the technology. So as you can see, our class meets on Wednesday, so I went ahead and put in our class meeting every Wednesday. And then Friday, okay, so you could see I did a lot of work on Friday and that I got a lot of stuff done for this course, so you could see all the things that I completed. Um, and then you could also see when things are due. So I need to complete the tools module by August 28th, which is on Tuesday. And so it's giving me a notification. So it's a good place to manage scheduling research participants. So we can't put the research participant's name in the calendar, but we could put their ID number. So like research participant 2 is coming, Friday, August 31st at 3 p.m. So we could put that type of information into the schedule. So that is helpful to organize time for tools and meetings or whatever across your project. So that's the schedule. And then we can also set up some automatic check-ins. So maybe you have to monitor your progress on your own, and you could do it in different ways. So based on your group, and I'll talk to each group about it, we can set up some questions to check in on you, to see, ask you things like maybe what have you accomplished in the past week? What do you hope to accomplish next week, to help you think through that process. And so the purpose of Basecamp is just to keep things really well organized. Oh, and then the last part is documents and files. So you can, so we can't put up any identified participant data, but we could put up things like research protocols. We can add like phone scripts, anything like that, like documents to help you run the study and tell you, what needs to be done and when. All of those documents could be uploaded here. It also integrates well with Google Drive. So say maybe you are working, it's at the end of the second semester, you'll work with your peers to create a poster, and most people choose to create their poster in Google Drive. So, and often this happens where someone creates a Google Drive and it's in their drive, but then they don't have the right permissions and blah, blah, blah. And so this is a nice place you can still use Google Drive, but then just link the Google Drive into Basecamp so that way everybody can see it. So that's the sharing files. So those are the different features, and then you could also change your notifications. So let's see. So you could change your notifications based on your preference for when you want Basecamp to email you. If you install the Basecamp app on your phone, it can push a notification to you just like getting a text message would. So however you want to set it up for you, but Basecamp overall is a nice way to keep us organized, and this will help us go from year to year. So a lot of these research projects will begin this year and then move on next year, or you'll do the research project this year, and then while y'all are away on field work, I'll continue working on it and trying to get this published and get it out. And so while you're away, I don't want to bother you while you're on field work. So if we keep the Basecamp nicely organized, I could see what was going on and when. I can access the different documents and files that I need to continue work on the project after you're gone, as long as we keep things organized. So this was an example of a project on Basecamp. And so you could have multiple projects. It's up to you. And then there's also a peer, so everyone will have access to this area. So if I want to push an announcement to everyone, or add something on the message board that everybody across project sees, you could do that at the headquarters project up here. So those are the highlights of Basecamp, and if you have any additional questions, let me know.